When I was in 8th grade, a boy that I had known since about 2nd grade wore a t-shirt to school that said, "I love Mormon girls," or "I heart Mormon girls." And I'd had a crush on him off and on since 2nd grade. And so I was like, what's a Mormon? In 2003, the internet was a little different. And also our understanding as middle schoolers of the internet was way different. But I remember I went home that day and I went on the internet. It was probably a Yahoo search, actually. And I looked up, what is a Mormon? It said Mormons don't drink caffeine. And I thought, I'm pretty sure he drinks caffeine, the Mormon I know. And the second thing was that Mormons are polygamists. And I thought, I definitely don't think he does that. And that's all I ever looked up about the Mormon church before I got baptized. When I was 17, I started to date a Mormon boy. I actually hadn't given any thought to him being Mormon at all. I just remember that he had mentioned it once before while we were getting to know each other as friends. And when he mentioned he was going to church on Sunday, I wanted to know, what are Mormons? What is it? I should back up just a little to say that I wasn't raised very religious, and my knowledge of organized religion was nothing. My family believed in Jesus, and I didn't know much beyond that. I wasn't sure whether I even believed in God or not. I was kind of at a point where it was like all or nothing for me. I either believed in God and Jesus and everything that went with that, whatever went with that, I didn't really know, or I didn't believe. So I was excited to go learn, what are the Mormons? What religion is this? I started taking the missionary discussions right away. Within 5 weeks, I was already bearing my testimony during sacrament meeting. In 6 weeks, I was getting baptized. I really soaked in everything they were telling me because it made sense to me. It filled the void of what I didn't understand about Christianity. They were the only ones answering my questions, honestly. Nobody else was asking me about this, about religion. They got me. Some might be wondering what my parents thought about this. They knew it was not a good idea, and their efforts to try to stop me did not work. One question I did have before I joined was, what about me being bisexual? I pretty much understood from what the missionaries were telling me was that the LDS church believed marriage was only between a man and a woman. And I was dating a boy, so that was okay. I grew up in a household that did not talk about homosexuality. When I came out as bisexual, I was told it was a phase. The LDS church was actually more accepting than what I was getting at home when it came to my queerness, because they told me that God did make me that way. It was just like a challenge in my life that I needed to handle, just like anybody else could have challenges with other sins. My challenge was to only marry a man. I had very few other questions. Any questions I had, the missionaries were able to answer. They had an answer for everything, and it made me feel good. I prayed about it and I felt it was true. I had like these spiritual moments, and then I was in it for 10 years. I really tried to be like the best Mormon possible. So I didn't do more research. I did not seek outside sources. When I came across Mormon Stories podcast as a Mormon, I listened to it a little bit. When I realized they were talking about things that I shouldn't be thinking about as a faithful believer, I turned it off. And that's how I was with anything that I came across that was not faith promoting. I did not listen to it. It took me a long time to realize it was all a lie. And then the more I started to actually do research and learn about the church, I got my records removed.